The lifetime ISA is being scrapped and a brand new account is going to be taking its place. But if you've already got one, you don't need to worry because yours can continue to stay open and nobody is going to force you to move it. And the new ISA, well, that replaces it is quietly killing off, I think, one of the most hated rules that we had in the lifetime ISA. And that one change, I think, could have a big impact. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly what's changing. The one trap the new version, I think, finally fixes, and the one number the Treasury is very quietly hoping you don't ask about. So my name's Saka Sain. I've got 25 years experience for helping people plan their money and their finances. And if you find this useful, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It does genuinely help. So let's start with what's actually replacing it. Well, the new account is going to be called the First Time Buyer ISA. And the clue, well, it's clearly in the name. See, the old lifetime ISA tried to do two jobs at once. And that was to help you buy a first home and double up as a backdoor pension that you could access from age 60. But the new ISA drops that second job completely and is purely designed for buying your first home and nothing else. So unless you were saving for a first home, hardly anyone used both a lifetime ISA as well as a pension. So if you were treating yours as a long-term retirement pot, well, this is your nudge to check whether that cash should really be sitting inside a pension instead. Now, our website walks through exactly how you can do that and weigh up the options over at financialeducation.co.uk. But here is what carries over, and that is you still get a cash version and a stocks and shares version. So you can pick based on how far away you are from your potential house purchase. And if you've got an old Help to Buy ISA gathering dust, well, you'll be able to move it straight into the new account. The one thing you can't transfer in is a existing lifetime ISA because that's already had its bonus and they're not going to hand it to you twice. Now, the genuinely good news, and it's a bit I think people are missing at the minute, is that the old lifetime ISA had a sting that did catch thousands of people out. And you can see that here. On the left, the account we're saying goodbye to. On the right, the new one that is taking over. And look at the bottom row there when it comes up. And that's where the real difference lives. And take a second to pause and see which one of these suits you. And you can have a look at what the differences are between the two. But with the old account, if you took your money out for any reason other than a qualifying first home, well, you were hit with a penalty. And because of the way it was calculated, you didn't just lose the government's bonus, you actually lost a slice of your own savings on top, which people didn't realise quite often until the moment they asked for their money back. So basically, say you put in £1,000 and the state added 250. Pull it back out early and the charge doesn't just claw back that bonus, it actually takes a quarter of the whole topped up balance. So you walk away with less than you originally saved. And that's the trap that is finally being removed. And it's the one trap that people didn't realise they were walking into when they either set up a lifetime ISA or decided to take the money out. But in the new account, the bonus is paid right at the point you exchange on your property. So there's no big pot of bonus money sitting there to be clawed back if your life takes a turn and you need the cash. So that is an improvement, I think, to some extent for younger savers whose plans do change all of the time. But where I think it isn't quite so good is basically by investing your money and getting the bonus earlier, it was in the stock market, even in stocks and shares ISA, so it had the potential to gain returns. And if it took you 10, 15 years to save up your deposit, well, that's returns that would have benefited you, and that eventually that option is going to go away because of the way the bonus is going to be paid at exchange. So that's what we do now. Well, here's what they've pointedly chosen not to tell us yet, and this is where I want to give you my read of what I think is going to happen. So there are two numbers missing from this announcement in my view. The first is the bonus rate. Well, how much the government will actually add to what you save. And the second is the price cap, the most expensive home you're allowed to buy and still use your account. And going on the Office of National Statistics house price figures, prices have climbed almost every year since the limit was first set. So the old lifetime ISA limit was set at £450,000 back in 2017, but it hasn't moved since, not once. And watch what house prices did over the same year. So that line climbs straight past a limit that just sits there, and it will do into the future. So every year it stays frozen, it quietly locks more people out. And that's the number I'd watch like a hawk. It's the same trick as a frozen tax threshold. Leave the number sitting still long enough and inflation quietly drags more people over the line every single year. And the frozen cap is how you make a generous sounding scheme slowly useless without ever announcing a cut. So I had a look at what the cap should be if it had simply kept pace with inflation since 2017. So let's take that original 450 and let it rise with inflation year by year. And by today, it lands a shade over £610,000. By the time the new account actually launches, it's pushing 635. Yeah, that could still relaunch this at the same old 450. So we'll have to just wait to see what they do. But put simply, this cap needs a 6 in front of it, not a 4. Now, you might say, well, who on earth is buying first-time houses at that figure? But the reality is some people do, certainly down in London. So I don't think we should necessarily be penalising people. Now, this is just my estimate, but, the principle, I think, is hard to argue against. And the longer the launch is delayed, the more time inflation has to leave a frozen cap behind. And I think if they do relaunch this with another 450,000 limit, it's already years out of date on the day that it opens. But get this number right, and I do think it can be a real help. But get it wrong, and it's just another press release dressed up as policy. So what should you actually do right now if this is something you're thinking about? Well, if you're a first-time buyer under 40 and you don't yet have a lifetime ISA, the single most useful move that you can do is to look at opening one before the window closes. You see, existing accounts keep running and the door only shuts on new ones. So open it now and you lock in today's terms while the new rules are still being written. But you end up waiting, you're basically betting on numbers that nobody has yet seen. And the replacement isn't even expected until 2028. So an account you open today could be working for you for 2 years before the new one so much as opens its doors. If you found this helpful, please do like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question you'd like me to answer, please do leave it in the comments below and I'll either respond to it there or with a video. Finally, good luck and goodbye. If you are currently thinking about retirement, we have a free retirement checklist that'll help you think through all the things that you need to be doing and thinking about ahead of retirement. So you can go to our website, financialeducation.co.uk, and on the top there you'll see something called retirement checklist. So if you click on that, that will take you to a page where you can download the checklist from. And basically the checklist itself is called Are You Ready to Retire? And within there are 10 key areas that you need to be thinking about ahead of retirement. So all the way from understanding how your retirement income strategy is going to work, how you take out money in the most tax efficient way, how you transition from work into retirement. Basically, what this document is going to help you do is give you a full action plan and a blueprint to make sure you are fully for retirement. So for each of those 10 sections, what we do, I'll give you all the key questions you need to be asking yourself and all the actions you should be doing ahead of retirement, and also when you should be looking to do it. So by the time you get to the end, you should have a blueprint and an action plan that is going to make sure that you are fully ready to retire successfully. And you can access this by just scrolling down to the bottom here, adding your name and your email address, and then we will email you a link to be able to download the document for yourself.